What's up YouTube, Jeff back again today with a very exciting Samsung video for you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the HomeUp One UI 7.0 update. Samsung pushed out an update to the HomeUp module that brings compatibility with One UI 7.0, and while you can't officially run it and use the features on a One UI 6.1 phone right now, I was able to run some of the activities and actually see the menu, so I can show you guys a preview of this. Now what I did to do it, I'll tell you, I used APK tool M. I don't necessarily recommend doing this because there's a lot of safety concerns if you don't really know what you're doing, but it allows you to basically decompile the APK and run some of the activities even if the app itself doesn't work, because we don't have the correct version of the One UI Home, and of course we're not even running One UI 7.0 at all on this Galaxy S24 Ultra. Before we get started, do I want to thank my 4-year-old son Jonathan. We got the yellow horse hanging out back here today. He always gives us a cool toy dinosaur for the video. Also using the wood grain table here today, this setup. So let me know what you guys think about it instead of the white backdrop. Sometimes it's a little too bright. Let me know if you guys prefer this or the white. I can try to switch things up every now and then just to make it a little more interesting. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you check out our website, sammyguru.com. We're covering all the latest Samsung news. You can also get in our mystery box program over there if you're in the US. Get a free case, cleaning kit, desktop phone stand when you order a Galaxy S25 device. We cover the shipping costs and everything. The link is in the pinned comment and description. So we covered this story over last weekend, talking about the updates, and some people on Twitter were able to get the APK for HomeUp to run, and so I thought I would do that as well. And today I'm going to dive into some of the things that are available inside of the APK. Now these are the ones you can actually view the menus. There's a couple of other options that are buried and hidden, including support for the vertical app drawer return. I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. I'll talk about that at the end. It doesn't actually let you run the activity. I haven't found a way to do it myself. I don't think anyone else has either, but it is available in the activities list. So we'll look at that in a bit. Anyway, this first feature here that I want to talk about is the home gesture animation tuning. So there's a kind of overarching way to change this using different categories, which is perhaps the simplest. You have three options: pixel by pixel, enjoy the feeling of pure animation; the scent of a certain fruit, feel the sweet taste of red fruit. This is hilarious. This is obviously a reference to Apple and iOS. So if you like iOS animations, this particular option in home gesture animation tuning is designed to make One UI kind of feel like it is running iOS in the sense of animation, smoothness, and fluidity. And then down here, if you don't like these two preset options, simple tuning, fast or emotionally, your choice, you can turn it down or make it faster, depending on how you prefer your animations. Now, these are kind of three categorical ways to change it for non-technical users, but if you are more technical or if you want granular control, down here they have the advanced settings. So this is the advanced tuning, which actually is its own separate activity. You guys can see it right here, advanced tuning. And in here you can change some various things. You can change the icon move. You've got damping, stiffness, and friction. Damping changes the damping of the icon move animation. The smaller the value, the greater the elasticity. Stiffness changes the larger the value, the faster it moves. And friction, the larger the value, the faster it stops. So when you're using your animations. Icon scale, damping, stiffness. And then here you have the Interpolator. I'm going to talk about this in a second because this might be the most interesting feature that Samsung has put in a customization option in a very, very long time, if I'm being honest with you guys. It is a very interesting option. It does take some technical explanation, and it's actually mathematics, which is great for me since that used to be my job as a math professor. So icon scale, you've got damping and stiffness, same idea as before there. And then icon tracking position, you can choose the larger the value, it targets top position of the icon when it tracks in and out of the animation. Wallpaper, you've got scale, duration, and blur. You can change the blur when going home screen with the gestures. And then down here, home screen, you've got scale and duration. These are kind of like the same ones you would change in developer settings when you change those animation transition scales. But now instead of just doing 0.5, you've got a continuous slider, which is accessible all the way up to 100th of a point. So all of these can be individually tuned. But if these are a little too technical and you don't want to play with each value individually, because maybe that could be a little bit challenging for people, we also have the Interpolator. That's this guy. It's also its own activity within here. It's right here. The Interpolator is a cubic Bezier curve, which basically is something used in computer graphics and animation to determine the trajectory along which a particular animation will actually travel or in computer graphics, the direction in which something will be rendered. So this is a mathematical curve, and actually I'll put the formula up there, trying to explain it in kind of non-technical terms. The cubic Bezier curve, they kind of explain it as well. It's got 2 points you can adjust. The pink point, x1, y1, and x2, y2 is the green point up here. Now, a cubic Bezier curve in actuality actually has 4 total points, as you guys can see in the formula that I have there on the screen. But Samsung has already fixed the corner points 0, 0, and 1, 1 here in the axis, and so you're only free to move the 2 middle points. They tell you down here as the value increases, there'll be relatively faster change. X1 and Y1 controls the beginning of the animation, while X2 and Y2, the green, controls the later part of the animation. So essentially here, when it comes to the icons, this is going to tell you kind of how those icons animate, faster or slower, the beginning or the latter part of the animation, and also where the animation is kind of traveling, the trajectory it travels along. I think the best way to kind of see this when you get this feature in HomeUp, of course, we won't be able to actually try it because none of these actually do anything right now. But later when we get this for the beta in December, is for everybody to play with it. Because if you don't have a lot of mathematical background, you may not know exactly what it's going to do, even though they do give a nice explanation. They do say down here, if the screen ratio is close to square, like for instance the Z Fold 6, the default's recommended, which is just leaving it 0, 0, and 1, 1. That would mean these are both put back at the corners as well. You're not adjusting any of the trajectory in the middle. You just have those 2 fixed points and it travels directly along there. If the initial vertical variations increase more than the horizontal, so the second coordinate has a larger value than the first, the square ratio can be reached very quickly. So basically they're saying this won't look very good if you have something like a Z Fold 6. If you change these kind of in the middle and you have some crazy discrepancies between the green and the pink, it's not going to look great with a square aspect ratio phone. So anyway, I hope I gave a decent mathematical explanation. There's actually a lot of rich information about the Bezier curve and computer graphics animation. I'm going to try to write a post on Sammy Guru that outlines this some more. So if you're interested in mathematics, technical stuff, I won't spend forever on it in the video, but I will write a full post talking more about this and kind of how it should work when we see it later this year. So anyway, that was the Interpolator. Let's go into the other activities here that we discovered. So we talked about that one. There's now large folder settings. So you can now turn the folders from medium to large size, change your large folder grid all the way up to size 4x4. You can also change the icon size there. Again, doesn't really do anything right now. It's small, medium, or large. Those are the options that you have within this particular one. If we go back, what else we got? Interpolator, large folder, bottom gesture sensitivity. You can now have a slider for the bottom gesture. This one really seems to crash a lot though. I tried using this one a few times and it doesn't seem to really launch the activity properly. Some of these do call crashing. Again, it's not intended to work with One UI 6.1. Home gesture animations, we talked about this. Pop-up folder is now an option as well. So now you can turn on small, medium, and large. Under details, you have variable size pop-up folder based on the number of items, fixed position, hide edit bar, and remove blur if you would like for the pop-up folder. Now, there are some other activities. Those are all the ones I was actually able to run. But if you go into APK Tool M and you take a look at this particular APK that I unpacked, if you go into the activities list, you'll notice there's a couple of other options in here that don't run right now. Background blur control, background color control, and apps list. So apps list is the previous name for the vertical app drawer that a lot of you have been asking for it to return. I've been asking for it to come back as well. I really want it. There is evidence that that's going to return since that is there. However, if you tap on it right now, it does nothing. It ends up crashing the application. So anyway, very interesting. The most interesting to me definitely is the ability to control the blur and animations, and using the interpolator and the Bezier curve, the cubic Bezier curve, is fantastic. I mean, this is very technical, so I'm worried that some basic users, it might be lost on them, but I'm going to try to write the maximum amount of guides I can to give people the best settings, particularly when the beta drops, so you guys kind of know what you should be using and how to use these options as we go forward. And of course, when the stable version comes out, I have a lot more tutorials. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Too much customization here because they've finally given us what we've asked for. I don't think we can really be mad, but it might be overload for some people. Make sure you check out the website, sammyguru.com. You can also get the mystery box sign up there as well. We'll have all the great breaking coverage over there as things come out about One UI 7.0. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.